Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. With me today, as always, is the man who wears a lot of hats around here. He's my cameraman, director, sound tech, lighting guy, IT guy, producer, and most importantly, he's my husband, Phil Gordimer.
I was supposed to wear a hat? I didn't get that memo. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching us from or on replay. Welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live.
All right, we're going to start as always with a cocktail today. Now we're going simple today. We're just going to have Bloody Marys. Now, I'm going to fess up right away. I'm using my favorite bottled mix today, and the reason is I know we always make our own. We even did an episode about how to make your own Bloody Mary mix, and we'll leave the link, there you go, but we'll leave a link in the comments thingy, whatever. We had a busy day yesterday. I'll tell you about that after our drink. So that's why we're using bottled stuff today. So the first thing I want to do is can't have just a plain old glass. I'm going to rim this with some lemon juice, generously. Now I have some everything bagel seasoning. You know, I know this is still the fad right now, but I just love it. I'm gonna rim that glass. There we go. And then this one. This would be good with Old Bay, if you did it with Old Bay seasoning or whatever your favorite crab boil is. Okay. Now we need some ice. And yes, for those of you who are going to complain that I'm touching the ice with my hands, these are impeccably clean hands. My favorite kitchen tools, actually, these were the very first kitchen tools. So don't worry. Few ice cubes, we like it cold.
That camera's a little out of focus. Oh well.
Oh well, never mind, dear, never mind. Now, I'm using lemon vodka today. A lot of Bloody Mary mixes have a little bit of lemon in it, and this just enforces it. I'm going to do a generous 2 ounces, maybe closer to 3 ounces. It's a celebration after all. But we are going out later, so I don't want to celebrate too much. All right, now we'll top it with my favorite store-bought Bloody Mary mix. And here's a lemon seed that got missed. There we go. All right, let's give them a little stir. And you know, some of that bagel seasoning goes into the glass. Woohoo! Makes it even tastier. Now, of course, we have some celery because that's required. And Phil likes really leafy greens on his celery. It's kind of silly sometimes. And then I have some of these lovely little shrimps, just like that. All right, husband, come and get your drink.
That's coming.
It's very, very full, so be careful.
Because I have no experience drinking a full drink, really.
I'm going to take that off.
Who do you think you're talking to?
And I'm going to get rid of this.
No, not me. I'm professional.
Cheers. Clink. That's good stuff.
I look like I have something growing out of my head.
Yes, you do.
So let's tell them why we had such a rough day yesterday and we need these today.
Well,
Let me show the picture first. And
we have had an addition to our family. If you know us, you know we have many cats. We have 4 cats. Well, now we have 5 cats. This is Maxwell. We thought Maxwell was Maxine, so he started out as an outdoor cat. We've been seeing him out in the woods in our backyard for the last couple of years. And when we finally got furniture on our deck this spring, he started coming up on the deck with us, and he would get a free meal and jump up on our laps. And before you know it, he started coming inside for a little while and a little while. And then he stayed overnight one night, and now he lives here.
Became my cat.
So yeah, he really bonded with Phil. So yesterday we took him to the vet to make sure he has all of his shots, and we got him microchipped and everything else, and he's pretty healthy. $440+ later, which is why we need this. Yeah. You know, we weren't planning on spending that right before Christmas, but it had to be done, and we are so happy to welcome him in to our family. Now, the other 4 boys are they're getting used to it.
All right, let's see if I can look at the camera and pull up the chat. Let's see who's here. Hank dropped in before the show just to tell us that he's not going to be here today. We love Hank. He's been here every day since day one. So we'll see you on the replay, Hank. Thanks.
Yep.
And Susan from Gulf Coast, Florida is back.
Yay.
And our favorite ham radio and RV person, Kevin.
Awesome, awesome. Good to see you all.
And
Melissa?
Teresa from Vermont.
Hi, Teresa. Is Melissa in yet?
No, but Drew. Haven't seen you in a long time, Drew. Yay.
Yay. That's awesome. Is that it? No
That's
Jimmy
it.
and Phil? None of our kids yet?
No, it's early.
Oh,
you know,
that's true.
those people don't wake up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, so might as well get started then, huh? Mm-hmm. So today's topic is all about cooking small, maybe for 1 or 2. And when we announced this theme, I thought, oh, I'm going to struggle with this. And I started making an outline of notes, and I have like 2 pages of things to talk about. So apparently I have a lot more opinions on it than I thought. So, cooking smaller, whether you're used to cooking in family, maybe you're a single person, maybe you're newlywed, it's just 2 of you, and you only need to cook small amounts of food. Cooking isn't fun unless it's for a crowd, from Martha. Well, a lot of people feel that way. I know my mother certainly did, and when she was first, it was just first her and my dad, when they were first empty nesters, she struggled, and because she was used to cooking for 5 kids.
And if you look at that lower third where it says cooking, you don't see a picture and a name. That means that question was submitted through us through Facebook. We have a lot of direct messages
we do.
and a very active Facebook group.
Yeah.
So those joining the first time, you'll see a lot of these. So we try to go back and forth between our pre-made Facebook questions and what's happening in the chat. Please feel free to comment in the chat and feel free to ask a question, and we'll see if we can slip them in.
Yep. So the first question that people ask, that I'm asked a lot, and actually that's what this whole topic came up, because people have been writing us in, I love your show, but it's just me, I don't like to cook, I hate cooking for just one person, or just 2 of us, etc., etc. So why should you do it? Really, and that's a valid question, especially in today's world of microwave meals and takeouts and things like that. Well, for me, you get the satisfaction of cooking that meal. I'm fresh out of college, and yes, I lived on microwave ramen in the dorm. Well, who didn't? We all did that, although in my day we didn't have microwaves as common as they are now. I'm single, I live in Philadelphia. Why should I cook? I just go out to eat. Well, and that's all fine and well too, and you have that option. Our friend JJ is like that. He lives in New York City, and he's been single until very recently. He's in his 60s, and he has been in his apartment for like 40 years, and since he never cooked, he had them take the stove out of his kitchen. He has like a toaster oven and a microwave. Because he said, I live in New York. I have everything at my command. Why should I cook? Frankly, it's cheaper than going out and then ordering in a lot of times. And it's probably going to be healthier. Those microwave meals are so easy and convenient, and most of the time they're tasty, and I know you can have them ready in 5 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever, but they're loaded with sodium and sugar and processing and a lot of times artificial stuff that you might not want to eat. Why are you laughing at me?
I'll show you in a second.
Okay. So I think it's really healthier and better to cook for yourself. What are you going to show me, dear?
We can always count on Drew for a great comment.
Oh, Drew. Oh, dear. I always cook just for me because I can't keep a man. Oh, Drew, what are we going to do with you? We'll work on that next, dearie. I promise.
We'll cook for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's healthier. The other thing is, this is your chance. You can experiment. You can have it however you want, and there's no one to judge you. So if you are one of those people that really like steaks cooked well done, then cook your steak well done in your own place where you live, and no one will care. And that way you won't be out at restaurants getting the side eye from the waitress or having the chef curse you under his breath because you're making him cook a steak well done. It's also a chance to experiment. You know, like, that's how I started really getting into cooking too. When I was very first out on my own, I thought, I can do whatever I want. So let's try this flavor and this flavor and that flavor. And okay, that didn't work, but I can't afford to not eat it, so I'll eat it. And now I know for next time. But, you know, you have that chance to experiment and try new things that you might not have tried if you just eat microwave food or order out. It's just easier for me to microwave everything, Jerry. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that it's not more effort to cook for yourself. It certainly is, but I'm saying it's worth it in the end. When you take the time and you make that effort, you get that satisfaction. I made myself a healthy meal. Maybe I made enough that maybe it's just two of us. I've made enough just for the two of us. It's perfect. Or I'm just me and I made enough for myself today and maybe tomorrow. So there's all kinds of options and all kinds of reasons to cook, even when it is just a couple people. A challenge that cooking for one daily. Yeah, it's tough. It's not always easy. It really isn't, because you go to the stores and you know, the packages of meat are like, hey, here's 12 chicken breasts, and you think, oh, I don't eat all that.
Kevin does have a comment.
I wonder how long before Maxwell jumps on the show. Well, I'm sure it won't be long, Kev, because he's upstairs sleeping right now. He got a lot of shots yesterday and a lot of medicine, so he's still a little, you know, sometimes that makes him all droopy and stuff, so he's still a little low energy today. Hi guys, is there cooking for more than two? Not that would be a challenge. Now that would be a challenge. Yes, dear, there is cooking for more than two. We'll get to that. Thank you for joining. All right, Joanne, great, excellent, glad you're here. We're talking about cooking for one or two or small. So one of the biggest questions I get, which we're leading up to, is how do I do it? How do I cook for just one or two? Maybe, like I said, okay, I'm still learning how to cook for one, coming from a big Italian family. It was all about making enough for a crowd and leftovers for a week, and that is so not me, Maria. Yes, exactly, exactly. So, you know, first of all, it's pretty easy to scale down a recipe, but if you really can't do it, there's lots of cookbooks online, and we left them upstairs.
Keep talking, I'll go get them.
Okay. Live TV. So there's lots of cookbooks out there, and actually I'm going to show you when he comes back. We have a few cookbooks that are just for cooking for one or two. Now, I know some of us have tighter budgets. You can find recipes and ideas online for free. You can also, believe it or not, go to your local library, and they always have cookbooks. I do that quite frequently. I'll go to one of the local libraries, and they will let you photocopy recipes out of it or just take a pad and paper.
The producer saves the day again.
That's why I keep you on the payroll, dear. So here's a couple. Now, are we leaving links to these?
They're already there.
Oh, okay, good. So these from America's Test Kitchen. There is cooking for one, and there's recipes, tips, solutions, etc. And it's a great, fun book. Lots of great pictures, things like that. Then, look, there's cooking for two. Again, tips, recipe scaling, some good pictures inside, lots of great ideas. So it is possible. And so if you don't know how to do it, look for some of these books like this. So we've left some links that if you want to purchase these books, you can.
And they're pretty inexpensive. They're less than $20.
Yeah. So one thing I like to do, since it is just me and Phil, is I plan my menus ahead of time, mostly. What is your feeling on the home delivery meal packs like Blue Apron or Home Fresh Barbecue Bill? I have mixed feelings about them. I think they're great, that they're inspiring you to cook, and if you're not sure how to cook or you're learning, it is a great way because they give you all the ingredients you need and all of the instructions of how to do it. I know a few people who have done Blue Apron, and they said it was fine, but the portions were not really enough for them, that they were very small portions. So that's something to consider. But no, they're fine. It's not something I would take advantage of, but that's an option for you too, to do something like that, some of these services.
And one of the things that some of our friends who do it like it is it taught them sizing. What does it look like if you're cooking for one? What is a portion size? What is a one portion size of this and that?
Right. So what does 3 ounces of salmon look like? So plan your menus ahead of time. Again, you can use cookbooks, you can just do whatever. Then that way, when you do your menus ahead of time, you can do your shopping list and you know exactly what you need to buy and how much to buy. And that makes things a lot easier in the grocery store, because I know when I go to the market, I get all, distracted, and I have my list and I've got my list and it's like, ooh, artichokes, I want artichokes. And it's not the case of I can't cook, but by the time I get home, I'm so tired, I just want to crash from Earl. Yeah, I get that too. Which is why I say if you plan your menu ahead of time and plan your shopping accordingly, a lot of times you can do that prep, some of the prep ahead of time. Or you know what you're going to do, and you can have things set up for yourself that you can just come home and do it.
We'll take this one out of order because we're going to be talking about DittDott.
Oh yes, DittDott.
A little
Welcome.
later.
I'm glad you're here. I did HelloFresh for a few weeks. I really liked it for a while, but as a busy mom with kids and evening activities, I'm a long-time cook, but it was still fun change up for a bit. Oh yeah, okay, that's great. There's another perspective. So how did you like the portions? Because I've heard that HelloFresh portions were kind of small. But I've never tried them, so I don't know. For Blue Apron, the portions were kind of small. So how was HelloFresh? Okay, so look at my notes, because now I'm all distracted.
Oh, that's okay. I'll put you back on.
Yes, thank you.
That corresponds with your notes.
Yes. All right, how do I cook for one without a bunch of leftovers from Mary? As I was saying, plan your menu for the week. Shop accordingly, and we're going to get more into shopping. But once you have all those things planned out, I find for me, it takes the stress off of coming home from work, and then it's like, oh, what do I gotta make for dinner tonight? And did I take anything out of the freezer? Well, no, I know that, okay, Wednesday we're having salad, so I know everything is there that I need to make salad night Wednesday, or I'm planning meatloaf for Friday. I have everything ready to go. I can mix it together, or maybe it's pre-mixed and I just need to pop it in the oven. So you get to that prep first and planning, and that makes things a lot easier. What? I hate food shopping, especially for just me. Oh, well, there's where we're different. I love food shopping.
Here's where we'll talk about smart shopping, or even smart shopping with a friend.
Yes. Yes, we are. I personally love food shopping. I would shop every day if I could. So let's talk about shopping, and I want to tell you to shop smart. Now, what do I mean by that? So one thing my mother used to complain about is she was used to shopping and cooking for a crowd. There were 5 kids and 2 parents, so 7 people. And she got to the point where she would buy these, we would have a roast almost every Sunday, and she would keep buying these big roasts and cooking them on Sunday, and then they wouldn't eat them all. And my dad would say, why are you buying all this? And one thing that she never did, she never made friends with the butcher, which is what you should do. Make friends with the people behind the meat counter. Make friends with the people behind the fish counter, because they'll be happy. If it's just 1 or 2 of you and you don't need a great big eye-round roast for your Sunday dinner, ask them. They'll cut you a small one. Or if you want something special, maybe sometimes they have things in the back they don't have out front. So you can ask them and they're happy to do it for you. And that's a great way to cut things down.
And some people are afraid to do that, thinking that's not what they're there for. If you literally go into your ShopRite or Acme or any of your stores, other than the big box stores, and say, hey, could you cut this one in half for me? They'll cut it in half and pre-wrap both of them, and you've already got it split for when you get home.
Yeah. Now in our shop, right, the butcher counter is open. You can see when they're in there doing all their work. And you can just call to them. But one of our other supermarkets, there's a doorbell by the butcher. You just ring the doorbell and someone comes out and they are always happy to cut something for you. Small portions leave you wanting more, but are probably not a bad idea for dieting concerns. Well, that's true, Drew. And portion size is a kind of a hot topic. But when you're used to cooking for 5 and then you're cooking for 1, you do have to cut things down. Now, how much of that little roast you decide to eat in one sitting is up to you. But why buy a roast this big when you only need one this big? But you're right. Cutting down your portion size is a great way to control. And for the people who are dieting and watching their weight and trying to lose. So yeah, make friends with everyone like that. They're really happy to do it for you. And a lot of times you'll get better deals because they'll say, well, yeah, this is on sale, but here, this is a better cut of meat. And then do things like take them Christmas cards, bake them cookies, stuff like that. They'll love you. My grandma was good at that. Yes, we saw that comment.
Oops. Sorry, hit the right button. There we go.
My knife skills are still questionable, but I know I need good veggies with my meals, so I get them pre-cut from the salad bar. That's a great point. Yeah, the salad bar, especially when it's just for 1 or 2, the salad bar can be your friend. That was a trick my mother did get into. Instead of buying a whole bunch of broccoli or whatever for just her and my dad, she would go to the salad bar and get just enough, because they always had broccoli on the salad bar. So if she wanted broccoli, she would just get just enough for the 2 of them. After my dad passed and it was just her, she would get just enough for her. Sometimes she would go and make their salad that way too, because they always had salads at every dinner. So she would take advantage of that. And it's a great way because it's cut for you. It's usually very fresh if you have a good salad bar. And I think most supermarkets now have salad bars. If not, they do usually have pre-cut veggies, and a lot of times they are in smaller portions. So that's always another option. I take advantage of those a lot. Because things like butternut squash, if I don't feel like cutting one down, I'm just going to pick up a container of it that I know that they cut up that morning and let them do all the peeling and de-seeding and all that jazz. Okay, what's next? Shop with a friend. So I know a lot of us, we love our warehouse stores. Costco and Sam's and BJ's and whatever the other ones are out there. But, sometimes when it's just one, like when I was single, I would go with my parents and I would go maybe twice a year. I would stock up on toilet paper, laundry detergent. But I would never buy food because, first of all, I couldn't afford it in those days. But to have a big package of 8 steaks was kind of pointless for me, or 27 chicken breasts. I'd never eat all that and I didn't have room in the freezer for it. But if you go with a friend, then you can split things up and you can not only split the bill, split the cost, but split the food up. And maybe you only need 2 chicken breasts and your friend needs 6. So get an 8-pack and you take your 2 and whatever.
And that sounds like a great excuse for cocktails. You know what? You go shopping together,
right?
You get back, you pour a drink,
exactly,
you cut everything up and put it in Ziploc bags, and then you wave bye-bye and go home.
Yeah. Or you make a day out of it. You go to lunch, do some shopping, but go with a friend or a couple friends. Okay, Okay, here's a great tip too. Don't be afraid to pay a little more per pound. Now, I know a lot of stores have buy one, get one, or this pack of whatever is on sale this week, but check those prices. Sometimes, like when things are buy one, get one, what they've done is they've said, okay, normally chicken is $1.99 a pound for boneless, skinless chicken breast, but we're going to do it buy one, get one. We're going to raise the price to $8.99 a pound, and then we're going to tell you buy one, get one. So we're still making a profit, and you think you're getting a free pack of chicken, but you're not really. So check out those sales. Check those buy one, get one deals. But don't be afraid. Sometimes it is a little more expensive to buy at your supermarkets a smaller cut of meat or a better quality of meat or whatever. But don't be afraid of that, because in the end, it's better to have, I think, to pay a little more for a small bit that you're going to eat and enjoy all of it than saving money, buying a lot, cooking it all, having it go bad and throwing it out. That happens a lot. My mother was guilty of that for quite a while. So don't be afraid to pay a little more per pound. Home vacuum sealer is a good idea as well. I portion out pork loins for various. Yes, absolutely. If you have one, sure. And if you have the room in the freezer. But yeah, I keep hoping Santa will bring me one of those this year. Because as I look at Santa sitting over in the corner.
As he looks in my direction, just saying.
No, that's a great idea too. Even if it is just one or two, I think those vacuum sealers are better to freeze things in than just using Zip-Lock bags or whatever. But yeah, no, it is a great idea. That's good tip, Joanne. Thank you.
All right, so before you get to, hold on, let me get the right screen up here.
Oh, what are you doing to me?
I said before you get to your next section of kitchenware, because it's kind of long, it's 1 o'clock and it's,
okay.
It's time for me. Just saying.
Okay.
All right.
All right, then.
First, let me get it on me. I'm going to try to look straight ahead and do this at the same time.
All right.
But, as most of you know, I spend a lot of time going around to other small YouTube cooking channels because, as everyone knows, well, excuse me, as most of us know, YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. It's 3 to 4 years of work for traction. And small channels need some support. And with thanks to Karen in the kitchen, who makes her subscriptions public, I get to find lots of really cool channels. And a couple days ago, I found this new one, which I'd like to introduce. Okay, let's find my graphic. Really?
See, you keep changing those
buttons.
buttons.
Yeah, I keep changing it. Hold on. I have it. I know what I did. Oh, I know exactly what I did. Hold on 1 second here. We'll get the right screen up. That's because I have her up on my laptop. And this is Amanda. And Amanda is DittDott. She actually has multiple channels. Now, as many of you know, we're big campers, and it caught my eye right away that she's a camper. And so is In the Kitchen with Karen and Chef Christy Time and a whole bunch of others. And then as I started going along and listening to them, she has quite the different take. And using her exact words, I'm going to try to quote here. You're not coming to my channel to get the greatest recipes. You're coming to learn the techniques and how to make it easier. The other thing I really like about Amanda's channel is she's not just food. She does reviews of things she uses. And Amanda is in the category of a disabled creator. She has autism. And folks like that and us as gay couples and all that, it can be marginalized creators. So it's really kind of nice to spend some extra time. So if you get some chance, go check her out. And remember, one of the great things, hello, let's get off that screen, thank you, about going to small channels is you can leave a comment and you'll probably get an answer within a couple of minutes because small channels can take the time to answer every single question. If you want to help that channel out, as a bare minimum, hit that like button because it makes a huge difference. Subscribing is even better, but if you got to pick between two, hit a like button. So go check out Amanda, and we'll see who we can find next week. All right, back to you.
Good job, dear. Back to me, Bob. So one of the interesting things when we're doing our research on this topic and what to talk about is something that I really didn't think too much about. And I think it's because I have every pot and pan of every size practically in the world, and I have multiples. But using smaller pans and smaller dishes and things is actually part of what we're talking about next, which is kitchenware. And Kim says, I can't figure out how to scale down recipes. Well, and here's a great way. You know, it's easy to cut them in half. One of the best things to do is, if you use a smaller pan, you don't need to fill the pan or the baking dish. So if you're used to making lasagna, use a smaller baking dish than a bigger one. Another great way to scale down those recipes is your kitchen scale. That is probably one of my favorite tools. So I know if I'm cutting a recipe in half, it calls for 8 ounces of something, and I only need 4 ounces of it. I can weigh that out on my scale easily and get it right.
You would be surprised with pasta. People always just take a bunch and go, oh, that's enough for one portion. It's almost always too much. You weigh it. How do you know how much? Look at the back of the container. It says recommended serving. So if you look at spaghetti, it says 4 ounces. Don't guess it. Put it on a scale and weigh it. And that's how you learn.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And like I said, look at some cookbooks. Do some research online, because there are a lot of tips and tricks out there how to scale down recipes. Actually, a lot of my recipes, well, at least for the cocktails, are for 2 or 1. But it really isn't as hard as you may think it is. Suzanne says, can you do a comparison between vacuum sealers and chamber sealers? Probably. What's a chamber sealer? Is that like the ones that seal in the Tupperware type thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, first let me put Amanda back up here, but I'll ask Amanda if she's done any reviews of sealers. If so, we'll point them over.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing that is a great tool for doing smaller cooking is a crock pot or an Instapot. I think I buy more gadgets and appliances for my kitchen than I will ever use even as a bachelor. Well, why not? If you can afford it, go for it. But yeah, I use my crock pot quite often, especially in the winter. And it's just the 2 of us, so it is easy. And that's all, again, back to that meal planning and menu planning. It's so easy because I sometimes work till 7, 8, 9, 1,000,000 o'clock at night. So it's nice to have that whatever just cooking away in the crock pot all day long, and I don't have to worry about it. And then dinner's ready whenever I'm ready for it, or whenever we're ready.
Oh, the spam bots are back. Hold on, let me clear that. And actually, I do know this for a fact. Let me clear this screen here and bring me up with you.
Thank you.
If you jump on Amanda's site, DittDott, she has an entire playlist of Instapot recipes. Matter of fact, I was just chatting with her yesterday that after being together 20 years and Peter cooking for 30 years, I bought him an Instapot last year. We've used it 4 times, maybe 4 times.
More than that, dear.
But yeah, we're getting there. We're learning.
Well,
but Amanda has a whole bunch of them at her site.
And thanks to our friend Joanne, who's in the chat, I'm going to be exploring making risotto with the Instapot.
Oh, so Amanda actually has a good response here.
Okay. Good idea for a video. I do have a food saver vacuum sealer that I love and haven't done a video on it yet. I love the mason jar attachment for salads. Okay, that's neat. See, I'm really...
Actually, Amanda, that would be a great one. I'll talk to you offline about maybe we can do it together as a live stream.
Oh, yeah.
We can put you side by side to us, or you could do one video, I'll do another one, and we'll reference each other. But I'll talk about it with you offline.
And then we'll let Suzanne know, and yeah. Okay. So one of the best things that you can do for yourself, whether you're cooking for 1 or 2, is make it fun. Figure out how to make it fun for yourself. Cooking should be fun. It should be joyful because we're going to be eating this food. And I really think that I feel bad for people who just eat to live, who don't live to eat. And I want every meal that we have to be joyful, to be tasty and wonderful, and make us feel good. Not only physically healthy, but just feel all warm and fuzzy and good inside too. And you can't really do that if you're just eating microwave meals. It's just like, ugh. So make it joyful. So I am so budget conscious that I buy large quantities at the store to save money, but then struggle to use them up before it goes bad. Well, yeah, and that's why we say, cut it down, right? Shop with a friend, split things up with them. One of the most fun things we did, 6 or 7 years ago, when we did a whole pig. We went with friends of ours, and we went to a local butcher farm, and we ordered, we split a whole pig.
An entire pig, yeah.
And it filled our freezer for months. And I'll tell you, it was amazing, amazing food.
And we took all the parts that they didn't want. That
Yeah, the kidneys and the
hoofs, and they went, ooh, and they go, oh, we'll take every bit of that.
Yeah, we had a lot of good pork stock and things like that for quite a while. But I'll tell you, not only was the pork itself, the chops and the hams and things, but the bacon, it's what bacon was supposed to taste like, not that stuff you get from the supermarket.
And again, this all goes back to going to the store with friends.
Right.
Even if you're by yourself, you could consider doing that. If you got like 4 or 5 people in it,
Yep.
first, it may not save you a ton of money, but you will have the best you've ever gotten,
Yep.
and you'll get to pick and choose what you want, and have a little breakdown cocktail party.
Yep. Yeah. Because you know us, it's why we call ourselves Let's Celebrate, because that's what we do.
And I know for a fact,
there's an
Amanda,
IP
that
because it-
In the Kitchen with Karen just did one on risotto and the Instapot,
Okay.
and it looked amazing.
I was skeptical too until I sat there and watched our friend Joanne made it. We were over at their house for dinner, and she
Oh, I
was telling me
totally
about
forgot that. Yes.
it. Yeah, and I said, oh, but it was delicious. It really was, and it was made I think in like 8 minutes or something incredible like that. So
And no stirring.
no stirring. Yeah, that was the most impressive thing. So yeah, so cook with some friends. Have your friends over, or go to their house or something, but get together with friends and cook with friends. My wife and I frequently do dinners with our friends, and we all share in the cooking. Right, absolutely. It's great. And then you can say like, okay, do it like a potluck, and I'll bring the this, and you bring the that, and whatever. And you just gather, have some drinks, do some cooking, laugh, be joyful, enjoy your meal, enjoy gathering together with your friends. So that's a great way to make it fun. But even if it's just you in your apartment, which was me for many, many years, I still just thought, okay, what am I going to eat tonight? What is going to make me happy and fulfilled? What is going to fill me with joy? And maybe it was a simple, broiled chicken breast or something like that. But I did it for myself because I wanted to be happy and feel good. I can cook for 1 or 2, but I struggle when there is a crowd. I think we saw that already. But yes, I mean, sometimes that's something that I had to get used to as well. Even after Phil and I got together and I got really good at cooking just for 2, I hadn't cooked for a crowd of people in a long time. So when we first started entertaining, it was a struggle for me too. But it's kind of the reverse. You just double things or triple things, whatever you do.
Or we go to a campground and cook for 150.
Yeah, because, we're those people.
Evidently we are.
Now, you can cook for a small crowd too when you're like that, and then freeze the leftovers if you have the space to do it. Not everyone has the freezer space, but why not? Miss Alive, I'm going to rewatch. Okay, great. Great. Thank
And
you.
Amanda says she also has a recipe for that on her channel. I will hunt that one down.
I have an IP. Okay. Risotto video up on my channel too. So fast it comes out great. It's fun to see everyone's variations. Yep. Another way to make things fun for yourself when it's just you or just 2 of you is making up new traditions. When Phil and I first got together, he was kind of a curmudgeon about traditions. And he said, we don't have any tradition, blah, blah, blah. And then for a lot of years, after we were together, he would complain, like this time of year in the holidays, and well, we don't have any traditions. And then I started pointing them out to him, like, well, dear.
let me clarify this. Let me clarify this. It isn't we don't have traditions. We want our friends and extended families to have their own traditions. So, we have 3 kids and 5 grandkids now. And people say, well, you must have them over for every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. And I say no, because it's important that my oldest daughter and their now teenagers, which is our kids, our middle and our youngest, develop their own traditions. I mean, think about it at Christmas. You had to make 5 stops to 5 different families on Christmas and then do it again on Christmas Day. And at the end of the day, you didn't have your own tradition.
Okay. Yes, dear, but that's not where I was going with it, so thank you for ruining my point. I was not making him out to be the bad guy.
Well, I am
I
the
was
bad guy.
trying to go somewhere with this.
Well, then here's a warm and fuzzy about traditions.
I always cooked with my dad. As a teenager, that gave me a good feel for cooking nightly for myself and bonding moment with him. Well, see, yeah, that's exactly it. Have those little traditions. We have little traditions that we don't even realize it until we stop to think about it. For example, Wednesday night is always salad night for us. It just seems like we get away from it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah. Or, you know, Christmas Eve, we always share a quart of eggnog, and we drink it all, every last drop of it, because it's delicious. Yes, Kevin, dinner leftovers make great lunch the next day. Well, that's true if you have leftovers, absolutely. We don't tend to have many leftovers. We're not big leftover people, but sometimes. And yeah, I will eat them for lunch. Well, I get to say hello, just love your recipes. Thank you, Penny. Thank you very much. So yeah, so create those new little traditions for yourself. Maybe it's going out to diner breakfast every Saturday morning like we do. Or maybe it's Thursday night is lobster night. You have lobster every Thursday. Why not? Entertain more. Do some entertaining. Share some dinner parties with your friends and neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know you must have friends. You could do roving cocktail parties. And get those neighbors involved. That's something we do here quite often, is we have roving cocktail parties. Well, not exactly roving, it's more like
strolling.
They're strolling when in the nice weather, when people are out walking around the neighborhood, and we're out on the front porch, and sometimes we go out strolling and we stop, have a glass of wine here, have a glass of wine there. It's fun.
So in the development we live, it's a perfect oval. It's only 54 houses, and there's only one way in and one way out, so there's no traffic.
Yeah.
So in the warmer months, it's called the stroll, where everyone gets in the middle of the road, fathers and mothers and couples and kids and carriages, and go down the middle of the road and wave hi and have a cocktail and run up on other people's porches and share a drink. And it's actually very fun.
Sounds like we're all a bunch of alcoholics here, but we're not. We just like to have fun. But we've done those roving cocktail parties and dinner parties.
Oops, sorry, that was a button mistake. I meant to hit that one.
Perfect dinner for one is breakfast for dinner. That's also a great idea. I wouldn't want that every night, but yeah, that's a fun thing to do once in a while, and especially if it is just one. You want bacon and eggs? Why not have it for dinner? You want pancakes or French toast? Go for it. Why not?
That's our go-to when we've both had a really bad day and it's 8 o'clock and we haven't figured it out. It's ham, steak, and eggs.
Yep. Yep. It's very comforting, quick and easy. So, think outside of the box when it comes to stuff like that. More than just breakfast for dinner, but have something completely unusual for dinner, something you might not think about otherwise. You know, maybe you've never had quiche, so make yourself a quiche, or even buy a frozen one, but make it would be better. Silly things like that. And next up is, don't forget about dessert. It's nice to treat ourselves to that sweet ending, or like our friend Jack, who says, dessert first. I love to bake, but I don't do it much since it's just two of us. Yeah, me too. And I'll talk about that. But why not have dessert for dinner? Our friend Jack is famous for that. Whenever he goes out for dinner, he will order the dessert first course. And so he starts his meal with a big ice cream sundae or a piece of cake or whatever. So there's silly little fun things you can do. Yeah, Isabel, I love to bake too, and I don't do it much. And I'm not very good at it because I don't do it very much. I prefer savory cooking. Plus, with it just us, and you know that we shouldn't be eating all those sweets anyway. But once in a while we'll make a cake or a pie or some cookies. Though I did just I tried a recipe for a chocolate chip cranberry cookie that sounded really, really good, and it was just meh. I ended up throwing them out. But no, I get it. But once in a while, why not?
Hold on.
What?
There we go.
Oh.
They're two on top of each other.
Oh. Food is always a huge part of all gatherings. Well, that's true. Absolutely. And people who come to our parties know that, actually anyone who comes to our house, you know you're going to eat well, but even at our parties, especially at the parties, you're going to eat well. And if
You go home hungry,
it's your own fault. Yep. Absolutely. That's one of the rules at LG Manor. You leave your diet at the door, and if you leave hungry, it's your own damn fault.
And no discussion of the 3 Gs.
Yes, dear. Well, we will go into that.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Now, one other option you could do when it's just you or 2 of you or 3 of you or whatever, once in a while, you know what? Have dinner delivered. All the restaurants are still doing delivery. Even local restaurants and things are all doing delivery now. But make yourself a fancy dessert, or even just dessert. Make yourself some cupcakes, or even a box cake mix. Make yourself an ice cream sundae. But have dinner brought in, and then focus on the dessert. Thanks to tips, I survived Thanksgiving, and my mother-in-law is still alive. Oh, well, okay, Carol, that's good to know. I'm glad.
Well, surprisingly, we got a little bit of private hate mail after that episode.
Yeah.
That we were not promoting, more inclusionary. But the reality is everyone thinks they want to be in the kitchen in Thanksgiving, but the people that are cooking do not want you in there.
No, and there are families out there that they love it when all the family gets together and they all cook together, etc. I mean, that really does happen. But I think just as much, if not more, it's holidays are a stressful time for a lot of people because of that, because the family's coming, or I have to go to their house again, and that silliness. What else we got, dear?
Keep talking. Talk about what got coming up. I have an idea. I want to show something.
Oh, okay.
I have to go retrieve a picture of it first.
Okay. So what's coming up for Let's Celebrate TV? Didn't we just hit a milestone?
We did. 375,000 views.
Yes. So there's going to be champagne open soon. Well, after we go buy some today. What's coming up? So later this afternoon, we're going to continue to film. So Tuesday's episode will be this wonderful butternut squash and arugula salad. And the butternut squash is served warm. It's roasted with cumin and spices. And it has this brilliant dressing made of tahini and lemon. And it's incredible. It's one of those things, and I made it because we're just coming off of Thanksgiving. We're gearing up for Christmas. A lot of rich food in between, right? So I want to have something a little lighter, but it still feels indulgent because of that tahini dressing, and the butternut squash is warming and wonderful. So we're going to be filming that later, and that will be Tuesday's episode. We're also going to be Friday episode will be finally the final of our exploration of the mother sauces. We'll be making sauce Espanol, the brown sauce, for that. That will be Friday's episode. And we also have some cocktails in the works. There's a blackberry Manhattan that we are working on, and that
needs a little bit more work, but
it does.
More
it has
testing
potential. It uses balsamic vinegar and smoked. You light some rosemary on fire; it makes it smoky. But we need to play with that a little bit. We've got a couple Christmas cocktails. I saw pictures on Facebook about your wine advent calendar. I'm so stealing that idea for next year. Yes, yeah, we get this from the One Wine Club every year. It's different every year, the container it comes in, but it's fun finding these silly little bottles of wine. And then usually on Christmas Eve, the 24th, it's a bottle of champagne or Prosecco or some sort of bubbly wine. But there's reds and whites and rosés in it. You just don't know what you're going to get. Anyway, we have some other cocktails in the works. I have for Christmas, a peppermintini in the works. So we've been doing a lot of sweet drinks lately. That's why I'm working on this Manhattan, because I want to go back to some savory drinks. But what the heck? It's Christmas, and we've done several chocolate martinis, so I want something bright and minty. So that's coming up too. We'll have that out before Christmas. So what else we got, dear? I always love to do the cooking. Chat, have a beverage, but don't touch the stove or the oven. Yes, exactly. Me too. And, I have someone in my household who's sitting with me right now who always has to come in, and you're chopping onions, and he reaches in and grabs a piece of onion or whatever you're chopping, and yeah. Or
it's quality control, taste testing.
Opening the oven 17 times to check it, and yeah. Goes over and stirs something. I just leave it alone, dear. Get out from underfoot. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
But the flip side of that is if I've been cooking all day and tasting everything all day and my palate is blown out, I can say, come here, taste this. What does it need? And he'll say, it needs X, Y, Z. Or don't touch it. It's perfect.
It is one of my few skills. I'm really good at tasting the missing spice.
Yep.
Or he'll say, what does it need? And I say, let's add blah, blah, and blah.
Yep.
And of course, then it comes out really good. And after we say, we should make a recipe of that, and we can't remember what we put in it.
No, we just recently we did that. And we wrote it all down. We even did an episode, which is escaping me. But I remember writing everything down because right then you said, write it all down right now. And we did. And then we made it again a couple times. And there we were.
Yes, we do, Drew. Let me...
Do you already have a video of making eggnog? Yes, we did it last year. And that was another episode that got a lot of views, but brought us a lot of hate mail. People are very polarized about eggnog. And mine was even a cooked recipe, because I thought about making it today, but you have to cook the custard and let it cool overnight, etc., etc.
Right, so let's show him how we do that. So let's bring up my laptop. If you jump to our website, you can actually just eggnog and hit it, and it will take you right there, and it will show you the YouTube episode. You can either watch it here or watch it on YouTube, and we have all the instructions, so you can print that out on your printer, since you can't really do that in YouTube.
So what does that say? 382 views, did that say?
Yeah, but this
52.
usually is a little bit further behind than, so it's probably higher than that. This is the last time someone looked at it here. And again, our website's pretty good for that. If you need a cocktail idea, just go down to cocktails, and there's all our cocktails. And how do you get to that website? You go right there. Hey, I can make the buttons work today.
Yay!
All right, let's hide all of these. Go back to you.
Yay, back to me. So how are we doing on time? We've gone past your part. I think we're getting close to wrap up. Oh,
We
that's
are
awesome.
getting
Thank
close
you.
to wrap up.
You're welcome, Drew. If we see you over the holidays, and we'd love to, I will make eggnog.
Hey, Drew, are you going to Dave and Dan's Friendsgiving?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's next week.
December 11th, next week, yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 parties next week. It's nice. This year, we've been invited to other people's parties instead of us throwing one. So we're going to do that. And they're back-to-back, Saturday and Sunday, so it's perfect.
Well, and that goes back to the whole reason we started this channel, because we don't get invited to a lot of people's houses because they keep saying, well, I can't cook like you, I can't entertain like you, I can't do this.
You absolutely
Sure
can.
you can. You know what?
Yeah.
Order pizza and beer. It's not about what you make, it's about being invited.
It's about spending time with your friends and loved ones. That's what it's all about.
All right, and so for next week, our live stream in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So that will be 14th, it'll be whatever that one is, in 2 Sundays. That will be all about Christmas traditions, and let's just make that warm and fuzzy. I'd like everyone to tell their story about their favorite Christmas tradition.
Or Hanukkah, because it's Hanukkah.
Or something that happened your last Christmas or Hanukkah or holidays. And then we will take 3 weeks off because it's the holidays, and live streaming is going to be on Christmas weekend and Thanksgiving, and New Year's weekend. We're not going to do that.
We're going to be away for New Year's.
We're going to pick it up on January 4th, and we'll be moving to our new time of 3:30. Our West Coast people who really want to get involved, it's 9:30 in the morning for them. So it's kind of hard to get there. Also, many go to church. We have a very significant UK audience, and for them, at 6 o'clock, it's dinner time.
Yeah.
So by moving to 3:30 in the afternoon, it's a little easier on us, especially when camping season opens, because we can run home from camping and still do this without taking it all to camp with us. And our East Coast people and our UK people can have more of a chance of getting into it while it's live.
And we've had people just here who have said, I get home from church at 12:30 or 12:45, and I always miss it. So even our locals. Thank you, DittDott. Thank you.
Oh, and while we're there, I didn't say it, but DittDott also has an amazing Instagram page.
Oh, yeah.
So on our YouTube channel, right on the top right corner, she's got a link to her Instagram.
Yeah. I need to do more with Instagram.
We keep saying that, but
Well, I know.
I got so much to manage between this.
I didn't say
all
you,
these buttons
dear.
down here, and
yes, and I do all the Facebook stuff. I need to do more of it, but I need to do the
and
Instagram
Facebook is
too.
a big part of it. And it's kind of funny because the number of people that are reflected in our Facebook versus the number of private messages we get is completely out of whack. You may only see 10 or 12 posts from people, but there might be 100 direct messages queued up, which is where almost all of these come from that give us the idea. I just don't have a way right now in our software that controls all this to get that live, unlike I can do it with YouTube. But we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, I guess we're about ready to wrap up. We'll be celebrating our, you said 375,000 views?
Yes.
Yes, so we should be celebrating that next time too.
We should hit 400,000 by Christmas, and hold on, get me there. We should hit 400,000 by Christmas. We're hoping to see 4,000 subscribers by just after the first of the year. But again, make a shot. As a matter of fact, if you like today's episode, please give us a like down there. Just hit that like button. And while you're there, give us some ideas for future live streams or what you want to see on the channel.
Yep. And I will say, I think on the next live stream, I'm going to do some cooking. I haven't cooked for you guys in a while on these live streams. It's like make a cocktail and stand here and talk. And I'm okay with that, but I want to cook. I just want to cook. So maybe it'll be a cooking, chatting, storytelling episode. Who knows?
Well, then even more reason for people to jump down in the comments after this is done and tell Peter what he should be cooking. Just remember, it's got to be something we can do in half an hour.
If I know ahead of time, through the magic of television, I have one already made.
And that's great. So I just have to push a whole bunch more buttons, right?
Squish, 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 squish.
So it'll be a 4-camera shoot rather than a 3-camera shoot.
More cameras on me. I'm okay with that.
It's all about you.
Why not? All right. So are we wrapping up?
Yep. And we'll finish up with Drew.
Oh, thank you, Drew. We when RCB gets home, you guys need to come over before Christmas. So we'll need to figure that out.
Yeah, we're going out to Long Island for
New Year's.
For New Year's, so we'll hit more of our wineries, and we've got a bunch of wine pickups to do out there. So that'll be an expensive weekend, but it'll still be fun.
Well, what else is new, dear?
Really?
It's always an expensive weekend. Every weekend. Let's take in this new kitty. Oh well. Anyway, thank you for joining us all.
5 kitties is not enough.
Who you calling? Be careful what you wish for. Because you were fussing at me yesterday. We're back up to 5 cats. It could be 6 really easily. I saw that one kitten. It was very nearby.
Blah, 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 blah.
Orange and white, like my Binksy.
Or you can adopt the raccoon.
Oh, Buster? Yeah, no.
Oh, I totally forgot. It was Amanda's birthday today. She told me that yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Amanda.
What are you going to have for celebration dinner? Or are your kids going to make the dinner for you?
See, that was a tradition that we used to have for my birthday when Kevin was a kid in school. They used to cook birthday dinner for me. And I would say, I don't want presents. I want you guys to cook me a nice meal. So it was always a turkey dinner. One year, which is fine. I love a nice turkey dinner.
The PTSD of the...
One year, they decided they wanted to make cheesy mashed potatoes.
Oh, boy.
Now, that sounds good in theory, right? Kevin, do you remember this? So we sat down to dinner, and the mashed potatoes were day-glow orange, like the orange on the Christmas tree here. It was terrifying. They put so much orange cheese into it. Those two ate them like it was nirvana. To me, they were bitter and gummy. And
you say it like it's
I
a
felt
problem.
bad. I was like, I can't eat this. And they were just shoveling it in. But see, that was one of those traditions that we used to do. Maybe we'll do this year because, it's a big birthday for me in March. It's the double nickel birthday. So, yeah, Kevin, maybe you need to come over and you and your dad can cook me dinner.
Oh, okay. So Amanda says she's going out for Indian food.
Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely. I like Indian food. Very
Yay.
good. All right, anyway, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us today. We will see you on Tuesdays for our regular episodes, Fridays for basic skills or cocktails, and of course every other Sunday for live streams and silliness.
And we'll be in chat for about another minute or so after we close the show. So if you got some comments, go ahead and leave them.
Thank you.
And
all right, cheers.
bye.
Bye.